This is a quick review of the Dyson V10 after 6 months of continuous real-world use in my home. Much of what needs to be said was covered in the 1-month review, linked to in the description, and also the original review. There are a lot of paid-for reviews of this product out there that don't come across as objective. I bought this machine myself, and this is an honest user review that isn't commissioned by Dyson or anyone else. It's entirely my own personal review. The V10 has completely changed the way I clean. Instead of doing a weekly vacuum of the whole house, this machine has helped me break it up into much quicker and much less tiring bite-sized cleans every other day or so, with the different area of the house each time. It's completely taken the chore out of vacuuming. In fact, it's so easy to lift off the wall and use that spot cleaning messes as they occur takes just a few seconds. This product is revolutionary for a typical home user and has liberated me from the heavy bulk of a mains-powered machine and having to plug it in all the time. I've noticed a lot of scaremongering out there by naysayers and propagandists who apparently don't like the Dyson brand, or who love holding on to ancient relic machines like a dusty old collector. Embracing change for the better with clear improvement can be difficult, but there are cases out there of people inventing smears and spreading misleading myths and lies. I've seen lots of misleading YouTube videos with scare talk of how the V10 has low air watts and low hose airflow, but it's all literally nonsense based on my 6 months of real-world use, and as I've debunked in videos you can find linked to in the description. The fact is, the carpet and hard floor cleaning performance of this machine is at least as good as the best mains powered machines, including Dyson's own, whether or not people want to believe it. This thing really does deep clean even deep pile carpets, and can remove every speck of dust and hair right to the backing material for normal, real-world mess levels we find in the home. This includes in regular and low power mode. As I've covered in a video linked to in the description, deep cleaning is achieved even in low power mode, contrary to many of the myths and propaganda, and my carpets prove that for real-world use. There's simply no doubt it's 100% true, and you can observe it right here. I've never really needed to use max mode, which is only intended for heavy surface spot messes, such as a knocked over plant pot. It's really quick and completely hygienic to empty, taking all of literally 5 seconds. If you do it right, it doesn't make a cloud or a mess as many scaremongers claim, as you can see here. It's completely possible to empty the best bagless cleaners hygienically without any mess. And because it's the original bagless vacuum done correctly, unlike many of the cheap knockoffs out there, it has no running costs or replacement bags, which are also harmful to the environment. The shroud self-cleans any fluff in the emptying process, so you never have to touch any nasty trapped dirt. The cyclonic filtration quality is the best on the market, and the filters are still gleaming clean and have never once got dirty or clogged from normal household use. I rinse them monthly under cold water as the manual instructs, and this, along with emptying the bin frequently, has helped ensure it's never once produced any bad smells. I've heard some people complain about the bulk of the machine, but in the same breath they complain about the lack of bin capacity. Both apparent complaints are complete non-issues and is easily addressed by the simplicity and speed of emptying the bin. I've never had an issue with the size of the machine, but any opportunity to reduce weight is always welcome. Not that it's particularly heavy, especially compared to the competition, which is much bulkier and heavier. The modular design means you can clip on any of the myriad of attachments at will. It's easily the most versatile, easiest to use, quickest and best performing cleaner I've ever used, especially on stairs which take just an effortless minute now. There's no way anyone objective could conclude after using this product for 6 months that it hasn't relegated bulky, noisy, mains-powered vacuums to the past for most people in normal homes. And this includes larger households where bite-sized cleaning is much easier and practical and a better way to vacuum. I've also never once run out of battery power in normal mode or even come close. Likewise, because of the bite-sized nature of cleaning, I've never once encountered the apparent 3.5 hour battery recharge time. You never fully drain it, it's always charging on the wall when you're not using it, and so it's always fully charged when you need it. Don't be fooled by videos showing how long the battery lasts by keeping the machine running non-stop. It's just not representative of how you use this thing in the normal home. Complaints about having to hold the trigger all the time are also not something I've ever shared. I've never found it tiring, and you quickly get used to letting go of the trigger when you don't need it on, when you move into a new location or picking something up. You use it on off all the time, and it's great and easy. Some have argued that it's better that some competitor cordless cleaners have 2 batteries that can be swapped. This is misleading and not really true. The only reason why other manufacturers provide 2 batteries is because their batteries aren't as good and possibly can't manage a reasonable cleaning session on a single charge without increasing battery capacity and thus the product weight. So they market and spin the false idea that 2 batteries are better. Except 2 batteries means you've got to manage charging 2 batteries. There's double the battery cost palmed off onto the customer, and there's twice the battery pollution at the end of the product's life. Plus, the V10's batteries apparently retain 80% of their original maximum charge after 15 years, unlike these double battery machines, which can only manage that for 5 years. Always be wary of the snake oil that cheap knockoff products try to peddle to unsuspecting customers. This machine has hardly any maintenance either. All you need to do is just empty the bin and rinse the filters occasionally. The brush heads have stayed hair and tangle free for me, but you could easily cut hair off with scissors or quickly remove the bar if needed. The easiest way to clean them if they get grubby is to wipe over them with a very lightly damp cloth. The bin also hasn't clouded much, probably due to only vacuuming household fibrous dust, and also the lack of unnecessary dirt spinning in the bin thanks to the internal capture fin at the back, forcing dust to ball up and compact. I've never had a single problem with this machine. Apparently, some people have had broken catches and minor things, but I've no idea how. I've been reasonably rough with this machine under normal use, and it's never failed once. I was originally concerned that the wall dock might loosen over time because you'd drop the machine in from the top, but these concerns have been unfounded, and the wall mount is as secure as it was on day one. I've been accused of being biased in my previous 2 reviews, mostly by apparent Dyson brand haters, because I gave praise where praise was due. This is despite also pointing out negatives in those earlier reviews, which are apparently ignored by the cosmetic critics. The V10 does have some negatives, but they're minor and will no doubt be fixed in a future generation of the product. Specifically, while you can't turn it on without the filter connected, you can turn it on with the bin open. This is also easy to do accidentally when you're emptying because your hand's on the trigger. When this happens, all the fine dust in the Cyclone discharge chamber bypasses the Cyclone filtration system and floods the filters with dirt, which is really annoying if you've just rinsed and dried them. I think this problem is one of the main reasons why filters look dirty in some YouTube videos. Another niggle is sometimes the accumulated ultrafine dust doesn't empty from the small slits in the bottom of the Cyclone discharge chamber unless you tap the machine, which some people might not do. Something else I've found is if you make use of the on-off trigger too quickly in succession. For example, if you're vacuuming couch cushions, the machine can think there's a problem and trigger the battery failure warning and stop the machine working for 10 seconds or so. I'm also still a bit peeved that Dyson didn't release their better performing torque drive cleaner head in the UK, and have never provided an explanation why that held water and made sense. I wouldn't be surprised if it appeared, in the UK at least, in the next product generation. Not releasing it just smacked of disregard for UK customers. As far as future editions, that would be nice. Even though the motorised brush tool does an excellent job, it would be nice to see a tangle-free variant in the future. It'd also be nice to see the amazing kinetic filtration technology introduced to the handheld products to minimise filter cleaning hassle. In summary, this is literally the best vacuum technology on the market, both considering its performance and practical use for most normal, real-world homes. I'd recommend now that people don't waste their time with bulky mains-powered machines anymore. There's no evidence they clean significantly better than the V10, and having used one for 6 months, I'd never look back now. Highly recommended product that's hugely better than the competing cordless products and even many mains power cleaners.